everyone, and welcome to the first episode of
Breaking the Mirror.
This is a podcast where we want to dive into body dysmorphia and how it affects us and the people we know. We're here to talk openly and create a safe space for understanding mental health. We're also excited for this upcoming adventure. My name is Elaine, and I'm here with my amazing co-hosts, Brielle, Vienna, Yen, and Emily. Say hi, everyone.
Hi.
Hi, so like I said, my name is Elaine. When we started this project, I was really excited to be able to spread awareness on BDD because I've seen so many people experience it. And I know that a lot of people, even though they have had experiences with it, they still don't know much about it in general and how to cope with it.
Hi guys, my name is Yan, and I'm committed to raising awareness about body dysmorphia due to my own personal experience.
Hi, my name is Brielle, and raising awareness about body dysmorphia is important to me as I grew up viewing my body a certain way, a universal experience for many in which I want others to know that they are normal.
Hi, my name is Emery Lopez, and I'm passionate about body dysmorphia due to my own personal experiences, and I've learned from raising awareness that it's okay to ask for help.
And my name is Vienna, and I'm passionate about raising awareness for body dysmorphia because I know firsthand how isolating and difficult it can be, and I want to prevent others from feeling that.
So today's episode is all about us and who we are, our experiences with body dysmorphia, and why this podcast matters. So body dysmorphia is such a prevalent issue in our society, especially with social media and the youth and how things are today. But before we dive in, let's quickly talk about what body dysmorphia is for those who might not be familiar with it.
Body dysmorphia or body dysmorphic disorder is a mental health condition where someone becomes very obsessed with a perceived flaw in their appearance. These are flaws that people often don't even notice, and it can lead to anxiety, depression, and even difficulty in daily life. This condition affects people of all genders, ages, and backgrounds.
And it's not just about appearance, it's about how these thoughts affect you and your self-worth. That's why raising awareness is so important.
I think one of the main reasons that we chose this topic is because we've all had direct or indirect experiences with BDD. So I think that we should take some time to talk about our own experiences with it. And I can start. For me, I think it began like to be a big thing in my life in around middle school because we all went to Martinez, except Rio, but most of us went to Martinez. And at our middle school, we had uniform. We had to wear like khaki shorts and black collar not t-shirts, just shirts. Not shirts. What are they called? Like
The polos?
Polos,
Yeah.
yes. We had to wear polos. And up until this point, I had like really never worn shorts, which is like sounds crazy, but I really hadn't. And when I went to middle school, I was also slightly chubby, and people made comments. And I was really insecure with myself, and the shorts did not help. And I think leading to like even today, I think that had impacted my confidence and the way I saw myself and the way I interacted with others.
How do you cope with that now?
Well, I think definitely it's not as big of a thing because I think middle school is also a time where a lot of people are
Judgmental.
and they're also like experiencing issues within themselves. So I think they're like more judgmental of you.
Mm-hmm.
So coping with it now, I think it's more also about the fact that I don't experience it as much. But coping with it, I would say
A few moments later.
I think for coping mechanisms that I've started to do would be more like working out and eating healthier because I did not do that throughout elementary and middle school. So I think those are some things that I've worked on.
Me turn?
Your turn.
So for me, I'm a forward dancer, and I always focused on how my body and how it looked. Staring at the mirror for hours, it made me aware of every flaw. There was this constant comparison to the other girls and what we should or shouldn't look like. And in dance, there's always this concept of a ballerina body, so you couldn't be too big, too skinny, too tall, too short, and so it really just was like a black and white thing where you always focused on, do I meet that standard or not? And even if other people didn't notice anything was wrong, I was just always thinking that I was distorted. And now, although I'm not dancing anymore, it is an ongoing battle with how my body looks. And especially when I work out or I'm trying to stay fit, I'm always just trying to nail that. This experience has made me want to raise awareness about body dysmorphia so I can help others understand its impact and learn to appreciate their own bodies for more than just how they
My experience has been a little bit different. I grew up hearing comments about how my legs were either too big or like my face was too chubby and how I was never gonna lose the weight. And honestly, those words stuck with me, especially coming from like an Asian household. They're very blunt and obvious and they don't really sugarcoat anything. And everyone in my family was always fit and like I felt like the odd one out. And I'm not saying that like I wasn't fit or anything because my mom would always put me in like a bunch of sports like and I would like work out maybe 3 times a week. But it was more the fact that hearing it every day, it stuck with me. It created like an internal voice inside of me that was like, oh, like I would wake up expecting someone to say that to me and then go to bed thinking about it and then wake up again and then they would do the same thing. And it literally stuck with me. But eventually it started becoming better when I started surrounding myself with friends and they like helped me through it. And especially when I picked up a hobby like reading or crocheting, it it's like become like my outlet to like deal with it. Obviously though, it never goes away. Like it always comes back, but it'll get better eventually and you just need to like give it time.
Have you ever talked to your family about it or anything, or is it just
Well, yeah, I think one day my aunt said that I looked really big after I was eating, and then I literally went to my room and then I started crying. It was like 12 at night. And I started bawling my eyes out. And then like my mom came to like say goodnight and she started yelling at me because I was crying. And then I was like, okay. And then like my uncle was like, okay, like why are you actually crying though? And then like I told them. And then they were like, okay, but like you're not fat. Like we just say it because you're more big than us. But like he didn't mean it in like, oh, like you're a fat way. He's just like, I'm more like athletic, so like my legs are obviously bigger, but like it's not a problem. And I think from that point on, like they were more aware of it. And like each time they would say like, oh, like you're kind of big, they would just be like, okay, but like we're joking. And like we've coped with it. Like and I'm working out now, so like even if he does call me big, I'll just be like, okay, but like I think I have more muscle than you, so what's the point? And he'd be like, okay, well, whatever. Like, okay.
I find it
But
so
yeah.
interesting that like this happens a lot in Asian households.
Yeah.
How like these parents just like are so straight about it. Like they know like mean it for good or whatever. It's just very straight.
Yeah.
And there's always like a standard.
I don't even think it's just
It's
I
a
think
very big cultural thing, and in
yeah.
Latino cultures, we also have a lot of problems with like talk about weight. It's very negative.
Yeah.
People a lot of the time like notice when you stop eating as much, and they comment on that, or when you eat more, they comment on that. So
It's also very hard because like when you're in like a cultural household, like even if you like for me at least, I wanted to change my diet, but each time I tried, my mom would always be like, okay, but like you're eating too little. But then like I'm eating too little, but you're calling me fat. But then I eat more and you're still calling me fat. So where's like the line?
you just feel like you can never win.
Exactly. Like where's the line? But they don't make it easier. But like that's just how we grew up dealing with all of that. But
I think it's also a big work in progress because they're kind of stuck in their ways
yes.
with their own cultural background. So yeah, like bringing it up might not be as easy for them, but it's a big thing on comfort. You don't feel comfortable hearing that about yourself every single day.
Oh, yeah. I especially had a similar experience where my grandma would come up to me and compare how slim her waist was compared to mine. And she would always remind me not to eat at night because I would get put on a lot of weight and no one would want to be my friend. No one would like me anymore. And not even that, a lot of my family members would compare me to my sister and my mom, saying that I would never grow tall and that I would always be like bigger than both of them. So this caused me to be really self-conscious, even at family gatherings, because we like to go boating and fishing a lot. So when I would go swimming, I would always wear like a big t-shirt and big shorts just to conceal my body because I was so self-conscious about it up until I was 14 or 15. But to improve this, I've been working on building my self-esteem, working with people who support me, and practicing self care.
Have you ever like reached out to your mom or like your sister or like anyone about it, or like is it just like something that you've worked
No,
on?
it's just like it doesn't really bother me anymore, and like it's gonna be so hard for them to change because that's how they grew up.
Yeah.
I don't really mind it anymore.
It just all comes with age, right? Like as
Yeah.
you grow up, you just realize it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
You build that confidence.
Yes.
For me personally, I went through something similar. I was always like very aware of my weight because as a kid, I had like a nickname, and it's in Spanish. It's called gordi, but it basically means like it translates to like fatty. And
It's so funny.
It's not funny.
No.
But
It's what the first
yeah.
time. It's the first time I said it. Yeah.
It's just really straight.
No,
just really
no.
bad.
It's fatty. Anyway,
but yeah, I had a similar experience with that because my dad would always call me that nickname, and growing up I felt really hyper aware of it, and I always felt like I was the bigger one out of my friends, and I just always felt really hyper aware, and I began going through puberty at a like younger age than everyone else. So sometimes it just felt like I was going through things that other people didn't understand and progressing through things like with bigger proportions. So like I in middle school as well, my friends were talking about how they would skip meals, and I picked up that unhealthy eating habit. And for a little bit, I didn't realize how much damage it was doing to my health. So I like talked to my mom about it, and she like opened my eyes that it was doing more harm than helping. And I just like kind of realized that it's really not about weight, it's more about being healthy. So I like started journaling, and like even now when I just feel like I'm not like the best I can be, I'll portion my meals out and like feel a little bit better about it.
A big thing from what you said is like surrounding yourself with the right friends,
Yeah.
because like obviously like you don't know it in the moment, but like
Yeah.
if you're surrounding yourself with friends that like have like like a problem with food, they're gonna push it onto you no matter if they know it or not. And obviously that's gonna affect you, but you don't know that it's affecting you in that way. So it's just really important to like recognize it, and if you're not comfortable with it, try to like voice that to them, and if they don't cut back on it, like you need to get out. Like especially if you're going to a restaurant and they're looking at the calories and they're like, wow, this is a lot of calories, like I need to back off. Like even like if they're not saying it to you, they're
You
still
pick up
saying
on
it.
it, yeah.
Yeah, you're picking up on it. Because next time you go to that same restaurant, you're like, oh, wait, she said that this was too much calories, so I obviously can't eat it either because, you know, me and her look the same. So if she's trying to lose weight, I need to lose weight. So it's so important to, like, pick the right friends. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't talk to a lot of those people anymore because I personally wanted like better growth for myself, and I realized that for them to grow, I also myself needed to grow.
Well, this takes us to the mission of our podcast. It's quite simple, actually. We are just trying to educate and support, but by no means are we saying we know everything. We've all had our struggles and we went through it. But we want to help people understand that body dysmorphia is an issue in our society, especially with kids our age. And we just want to provide sources for those who might be struggling. And we hope that by sharing some of our experiences, it can also create an open space for you guys.
We also want to make it clear that healing is a journey, and that whether you're personally struggling or you know someone who is, it's okay to not always have the answer.
And we're not here to preach. We're not like, we don't have a degree in psychology?
In mental health
professions. But all we're here for is to share our stories. We're here to learn together and build a community where we can all lift each other up, and it's a safe space for us to talk about stuff like this.
In future episodes, we're going to be talking to mental health professionals, what role social media takes in all of this, and some tips for self-care and coping strategies.
And we also would like to hear from listeners. So if you have a story or a question, reach out to us on our social media platforms. We'd love to include you in our conversation. And that's it for the first episode of Breaking the Mirror. We hope you'll join us on this journey as we explore what body dysmorphia is and how we can support each other.
And if this episode resonated with you, please share it with someone who you think might need to hear it. Because just like this podcast episode, it's really important to talk with your friends about it. It really helps to know that someone else might be struggling with the same things that you are. So remember that you're not alone and that help is always available.
Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time.
Bye.